Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast with legendary strength coach Dan John. It's always good to see you, Dan. How are you on this fine Tuesday morning?
Hey, I'm really good. Things are going well. I think the bulk of the jet lag is behind me. It's funny, you would say, "Oh, you should be over it," but it's like, God, it's a weird thing. But walking's going good. Lifting, I am so sore in my chest from my lifting. I haven't done any upper body work. I took a 2 week hiatus and then lifted yesterday.
Yeah,
Uh,
isn't it amazing? Just 1 to 2 weeks off, and then you get back to weight room. How sore are you? Like you would just think, Dan's been lifting for
yeah.
decades, right? You still take 1 to 2 weeks off. You come back and you feel cool, like like you've
Oh,
never lifted weights before. It's
yeah,
crazy,
I
isn't it?
mean,
Yeah.
if I have to squeeze a watermelon today, I might have to call 911. And how are you doing? You have a bit of a scratchy throat. How's it?
Yeah, first day of fall, and I've already got a cold. What's going on here? Well, my environment is just a museum of
Oh,
diseases with 6 kids. So, yeah, no, we're all right. It's just, it's the man flu. So the
very
the complaints are actually far worse than the actual symptoms. But
yeah,
here,
sure, yeah. Well,
but otherwise good. Yeah, keeping busy and trying to stay productive. Dan, you know how it
good.
is. Yep.
Yeah, I'm on productive. I think the follow up to the armor building formula should be done relatively soon. I made the mistake of saying that I had finished it. Now I feel like I'm being attacked, pecked to death by ducks with people saying when is it going to be out. So that's a good sign. But yeah, I'm.
So
That,
remind the gentle listeners, tease what they can expect from that project again.
sure. So I wrote. I've been working on with this armor building complex for a long time, and then uh, actually for a couple of people in my inner circle and a couple of people at the forum, I just started to morph that into a training program. Really, kind of interesting for busy people
Yep.
who want a little bit of hypertrophy. Uh, basically, if you've got a kettlebell or two at the house, a program for you. And results were great. So I wrote the original, and then there were so many questions because it's just on, and I mean this, it's just so simple. So I had to come up with so armor building formula with the snatch, armor building formula for fat loss, armor building formula for pull-ups and rows
Yeah, it's great.
and then just a bunch of other questions. But um, you know, I've gotten such good feedback from the armor building formula for fat loss that I was just, and again, it still amazes me. You lift 3 days a week, you get your steps in, and you have some caloric restriction of some kind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whether it's whatever you say, you can go paleo, you
Yeah.
can go
Mm-hmm.
low carb, you can go high carb, you can do anything. But if you make your protein and you keep your calories, good things happen. It's that simple. But it's just not as sexy as I wish it could be.
No. That actually reminded me. I want to ask you a question. I asked this question to a musician the other day who's had a good amount of success. If anybody remembers the band Firehouse, you would have heard this as a bonus episode. They had a they broke out in the '90s and stuff like that. Um, but I asked him a question I always like to ask artists who've had success, because we see this on social media, Dan, and it's sometimes you put up a post, it takes 5 seconds to put it together. There's no thought, it goes completely viral. But then you have another post that you've spent weeks on,
Yeah.
months. You think it's perfect, and then crickets. So you see this in the music world too, and other things, where sometimes they'll put together this album, they'll work really really hard on it, and they'll have a song that's their pet. They think it's the best thing they've ever done. Crickets, but then the producer will be like, "Hey, we need one more song on here." They slap together something in 20 seconds, and that's their number one,
That's their number
hit
one hit.
single, right? And that happened with the band Firehouse, more or less. But so I kind of asked him. I was like, "Hey, you're like, what's the one song of yours that you wish people would have paid more attention to, like that you're most proud of?" So Dan, my variant of question for you is this: you've had a lot of hit programs, right? And I'm not saying any of those were ones that were not well thought out or anything like that. But do you have a program that you're like, man, I was really proud of this one, and I wish it would have gotten more attention than it did. I wish it would have been a breakout like Armor Building was, or Easy
Yeah,
Strength or
yeah.
something like that. Sorry, that was a really long wind up for this question, but I
But it's a
kind
good.
of contextualize it. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I would say the One Lift a Day program.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mhm.
But there's too many caveats with the program. So if you're going to use it for Olympic lifting, you have to be to a place where you can snatch once or twice a week and get away with it. You have to be in a place where you can say today's a front squat workout and do 7 sets of 5 or 6 sets of 3, and really and or even if you're just doing it that day, you do the heavy double. That it has to be enough that you go. You're actually a little bit. Your stomach's queasy thinking about the workout the next day, but if you're using 40 kilos or 85 pounds, it's just not the same workout as if you're using, you know, 255 for 7 sets of 5 or something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that was, but I still think for like throwers and lifters and it's still a great program, but it's just it it's just too simple. I mean, it's just not, it's just too simple.
Yeah, no. All right. So here's the next one. This one might be tougher, and if you don't have an answer to it, that's fine. But apparently the band Radiohead, remember Radiohead, Dan? They were famous for the song "Creep." A lot of people will recognize that. But allegedly, the singer hates that song. Like, he hated that song, and he hated that song made them famous. He just hates it, right? Is there anything that you've had that was like a breakout thing that, looking back on it, you're like, oh man, I wish that one wasn't as popular as it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a number of things that happened when I was writing for Testosterone.
I figured if you had an answer for this, it might come from the old T Nation.
Yeah, probably a statement I made. Fat loss is an all-out war. Give it 28 days. It's true, but it's not. So, for most people, now here's why it's okay. And now we're into a power law right now, but here's why it's true. Most people probably, it's correct for the way we operate as Americans. Okay, I'm going to give you a 28-day program. It's going to be, your kids are going to hate you. Your dog's going to ignore you, but you're going to lose a lot of weight in 28 days. You're going to, and I could show you my blood tests if I still have them. I know they're in the article.
Yeah. Was this related to the old, what was it? The Velocity diet? Is that what this? Yeah.
It could be the Velocity diet. It could be the 2 week, induction with Atkins. It could be anything. I mean, any strict hard thing. And it's true. And what I'm trying to say is, yeah, I was right, but I was completely wrong. The problem with, if someone, it's like there's a thing called like hard 75 or 75 hard or something.
Yeah, I've heard of this. Yeah.
And then there's the people who live here in Utah, the whole 30, that is just
Is that still good? I mean, I remember that was like huge, like 10 years ago. Everyone was doing that.
I was with them when they were still married. They're a local couple here.
Okay. They're Utah based. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. And well, you can see it in their books. Yeah.
Never read them, to be honest.
But anytime you do something like that, where you go all in for 28, there is and I think I'm going to say now people still disagree with me, because I do believe in free will, but I think there's a free will rebound where you spend 4 weeks doing something all in, and then you go, oh, I did that. And then you trampoline, you take a gallon of bowling balls and you drop them from a helicopter onto a trampoline. They go everywhere, and
yeah.
And all of a sudden, a couple of weeks later, you're 10 pounds heavier than when you started. Someone in the comments put the 10K, Justin put the 10K challenge. The 10K challenge, Justin, I'm very proud of it. But like everything, this is the world of of the internet. Most people I know did the velocity diet for half a day. Most people I know did the 10K challenge for 2 days.
Mhm.
Supposed to be 20. It's just um, so I think I still agree with the fact that it'd be in an ideal world, 28-day life change. We're going to put you into a sanatorium for 28 days. We're going to do all these things to you. You're going to have therapy. You're going to get medications, but then it's a pound a day. It's a pound a month for 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah. That's maybe a better. I'm sorry to dominate the questions myself today, but
That's
it's
okay.
just popping in my head. That's good. Certainly, I have many, many, many statements that I made years ago that I
Yeah.
would like to heavily qualify or retract. I guess another one I'd be interested in, because Dan, you've had a lot of success with a lot of different ventures, a lot of different programs, which is really cool because sometimes people put something out, it's a breakaway hit, and then they have the George Costanza effect. They're identified with that one thing, right? And they can never get away from that one thing. And you don't. I don't think you've fallen into that. I mean, people know you for Easy Strength, but they also know you for Mass Made Simple, and now the armor building. So like that question isn't even relevant to you, because my question would have been, is there anything you put out that you wished, like, yeah, I was proud of this, but I want people to know that I'm more than that, I guess. But I don't think have you had that issue? Have you struggled with that at all?
Well,
I guess, yeah.
some people will call me, "Oh, you're the kettlebell guy," and I'm like, it's one of the tools I use, but I'm also the guy who taught 13 and 14-year-olds how to Olympic lift. I think so. One of the things that I think's helped me is because I coached athletics, track and field,
Yeah.
American football, and I've coached wrestling, and I've helped strength and conditioning programs for a lot of different sports. I think what's helped me in my career is people have asked me for advice on body composition, which I'm not necessarily qualified, but I would say I know more about it in the last 3 or 4 years than I did my entire career, because I'm actually doing the shit, but so what's nice about that, so with American football, you need a program like Mass Made Simple, but then you need a really strong in-season program, and then you need a really good speed program, but then you
Right.
also need a program that okay, with track and field, I'm down now thinking there's only there's only I broke it down for my All-American Emily. I said there's only 2 seasons there's only 2 times a year. There's fit goes far and smooth goes far. So sometimes you're getting fit for throwing far, and sometimes you're just getting this. You're Michelangeloing. You're just
Yeah.
you're taking the bad stuff off. So we put a lot of bad stuff on. We take some bad stuff off. So that's helping, I think, because I can accordion, if you will.
Yeah.
So if you say to me, give me a 4-year program, I have the toolkit to do that. If you say I got a big thing in 2 weeks, what do I need to do? I think I can help you too. I can accordion. It's how I used to. In fact, I spoke with one of my former students the other day. She's been it does shock me to say she's been teaching 25 years. Boy, that happened. I was at my class, the class of 1985's 40-year reunion this weekend. Also, a whole bunch of students I taught who are now 58 years old. So I have students I taught in high school who are now 60.
Ooh, yeah.
Students I taught. Okay, geez. Okay, but she asked me if I still kept my notes, and I said yeah. And she reminded me about how I used to write. So when I have a topic, I would try to accordion, so I can speak on Genesis for 5 minutes, or I could turn that into a 6-month course.
Yeah.
Same basic 3 to 5 points expanded over, So I see the same as in my strength coaching. If you guys will, if I'm not boring you, so
No, this is great.
I can teach you the Olympic lifts for what you might need as a master's Highland gamer. But I can also work with you if you decide to step on the platform and compete. at age 13, 23, 30. So it's all the same toolkit. I think that's always helped me.
And it probably helped too, because man, you had such a considerable base of experience and knowledge before you even started, say, writing for T Nation. I mean, when did T
Yeah.
Nation even come about? That was
That was just 22 years ago. So,
yeah.
but I've been coaching since 79. So,
Right. So think about that. Yeah.
and I mean, I look back on what I was coaching. The guys at Utah State. We were doing like power snatch, 6 sets of 3, and followed by power clean, and then front. A couple of power cleans, and then front squats. And I look back on that, and it's like, well, that's still pretty damn good.
Right.
I mean, it was, I got to tell you that I'm lucky. I mean, we did lift weights at my high school. We were one of the few my junior high weights, my garage, we lifted weights. So I've been around people teaching and working with weights since 1965. So I've seen good people coach. Dick Knopmeyer, Jim Schmitz, Tommy Kono. I mean, I've seen good people coach, and I've been coached by good people, and I've been in a situation where I'm working with, so I've been lucky that way.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me ramble like that.
No, that's good. No, thanks for taking the questions from me. All right, let's take some questions from the audience now. So, gentle listeners, keep posting in whatever you have. We're going to jam around here for a bit. All right, so let me pull some up. We got one here from Steven. He says, I am currently on week 2 of the armor building formula, and I'm making a decision whether to go with alternating seesaw or touchdown press with the 2x24 kilogram. Any advice? He says he has heavier kettlebells, but just plans on sticking with the 24 kilogram for this run. So, Dan, if you wouldn't mind just explaining to the gentle listeners each variation of the press here.
Sure. So there's basic. I mean, there's as many. With double kettlebells, there's the double kettlebell press. I'm in the rack position, and now I drive it to overhead. Okay, the end. Not. Then there's the variations of the seesaw press. Okay, I'm in the rack position. I press one hand straight up. I bring it straight down. I press the other hand straight up. I bring it straight down. The alternating press. Okay. Then there's what it begins to morph into as you get more advanced. As one is going up, the other is coming down.
Just like a seesaw. There you go.
And then the hardest variation, but I think the one that most men should do, but I'm not going to do it. It's too hard. No offense. If it was easier, of course I would do it. But it's the touchdown. You start in the overhead, you bring down, press up. You bring down, you press up. So the time under tension in the lockout position is through the roof. To answer the question, I would suggest just go with the seesaw press, and then maybe if you're going to, the double press is the easiest because the counting is so easy. It's 1, 2 reps, you put it down. 1, 2, 3 reps, you put it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reps, you put it down. With the seesaw, it's 1, 2. So for those of you just listening, it's just hard to follow. And if you do a set of 10 with the touchdown press, you got the bells overhead a long time. So I would say it might be a fun goal over the entire program of 8 weeks to try to do a set in the touchdown press for 10. That would be a great goal. But I think if you decide to make that your go-to, the touchdown press, I just think it would beat you down, like it would beat you with a stick. Yeah, I mean that would be my thought. And I don't mean to be vague, but I'm just trying to be real. Okay.
Yeah. No, fun variation, but
hard.
Yep. Hard. All right, let's keep moving here. Good questions, guys. Keep them coming. All right, Tom says hello to both. I love the armor building formula. Yeah, talk about a hit, Dan. The armor building formula has just been such a big hit, hasn't it? A chart topper, as we may say.
It's my what's that great song? Give me a Beach Boys song. Uh,
It,
uh, can't get no it's my satisfaction. Yeah.
and it's funny because the armor building complex, man, when did you first put that? I remember I put up a YouTube video where I appropriately credited Dan John in it. Imagine that. Didn't try to pass off
Well,
as
it's
my
funny.
own.
Strong First is still using it as a graduation.
Yeah.
Makes me laugh.
But and that YouTube video did really well. I think it's well
Mm.
over 100,000 views,
Wow.
and it's but that was like 10 years ago at
Yeah,
least for the complex. So the complex has been around for a long time.
yeah.
Give us a quick, sorry, Tom, we'll get to your question in a minute, but give us a quick history of armor building here, if you don't mind, Dan. Yeah.
We were at that. I'm pretty sure it was the Orlando CERT, which was one of the. It was huge, but it was also terrible. Oh gosh, people got food poisoning because of.
Oh,
Lots of people got food poisoning. We had to take a bus to the facility. Of course, they were still doing that idiotic thing where you had to fall in love with your kettlebell and take it to the
you
toilet.
take it to the bus and the
It was like
toilet. Was it catering that poisoned everybody? What was it?
No, it was a very famous organization, and their major character has big black ears.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
It
don't.
is because they'll cancel me. I went there. But so I was asked to do the graduation workout, and the whole time I was trying to do it, I would have one person, a famous female in the organization, come up and say, "This isn't hard enough. Make him do more." And I'd have another famous person with a bit of a Russian accent said, "Why are we doing this so long?" And I have another person say, "This is enough. We need to do lunges because a major part of the RKC1 is lunges." But folks, you're missing the point. There are no lunges in it. So afterwards, I in our follow-ups with John Duquesne and Powell, I said, I mean, we needed a much better. We were doing the double kettlebell swing and seesaw press walk for a while, but people can't press. I mean, funny thing is, I loved it because I can press and hinge, so I didn't think it was that bad. But people who weren't born to press, it was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
So I just pulled out a classic set of numbers in my head. I knew that the press was a limiter, so we just did a single. And I also knew that people can generally do one more front squat. So 213 Fibonacci numbers.
So it was born.
And I thought the clean was a lot smarter move. I've said it on some things about the swing. I'm to the point now that I'm done with the swing. I don't want to hear about the swing anymore. I mean, you just look at how is my swing technique, and you just look, and there'll be 5,000 conflicting answers. But we all agree that the clean comes here, right? Right? Everyone agrees that's the kettlebell clean. Everybody agrees that that's the press. Everyone agrees that's the spot. So, we have an exhausted group. The press is usually starting to get bad.
Yeah.
Their legs tend to at kettlebell events, people's legs tend to be fairly fresh on the last day.
Yeah. So it was born as a grad workout then. It was interesting.
I called it the grad workout for a long time.
I wish that was my grad workout because I remember I just had some insane hazing, awful high rep.
But if you don't, the
original
was one I used for American football, and that was 5 cleans, 5 front squats, 4 cleans, 4 front squats, 3 cleans, and this is in the new book. And now I call that the running back complex. And you go 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1.
Yeah,
done. And if you really want a tough day, do 5 rounds of that because that will suck up.
That sounds tough.
Yeah. And but one of my running backs, nice kid, said this is how we ran the veer offense, and he said this is what it feels like to run the veer because you're constantly getting hit like by baseball bats, and that's where the concept of armor came from.
Yeah, right.
I mean, obviously. Oh, by the way, an interesting thing. It's on my. It should be up on my website, but I retyped my 1981 treatise on Beowulf, and when I was in Australia, Abby Kwan asked me about it, and so I came home and I sent it to my professor. So this happened 45 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and sorry. The reason I mentioned that is there's a famous line in Beowulf about how his armor was still there, but his arms hung low. And I just love that.
Is you said that people can go grab that on the old
Yeah,
website, the Dan?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And I'm putting up my sword and
that's
stone
fun.
work too. I think
That's
it's a
very that's
quarter of a million words, I think, or something like that.
Oh,
So
that's fun. I'll encourage people to go check that
yeah,
out. You can read it between sets of armor building. So there
yeah,
you go.
you can
All
read.
right, so that's very cool. Actually,
Yeah,
that's amazing, Dan. I actually did not know that you developed that as an original grad workout.
yeah.
Very cool.
Based
And
on the running back complex, and I think I'm good at. I know you're better, but I think I'm good at complexes for a sniper. I have good sniper complexes. Here's
yeah.
the problem.
Mhm.
Here's the problem. Here's a complex. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like that approach. That's good. Yeah, and certainly that's what I've become identified with over years, but I'm not at all sour about that. I certainly happily embrace being a complex guy. All right, now let's get to Tom's question. So he said he loves armor building. He's used it a number of times. He's currently working towards the double
yeah,
28s.
good.
He started with the double 20, so he has seen good progress over a number of cycles.
Very
I'm sorry, I don't even think there's a question there. Maybe Dan, you could give him a little.
well. First off, I mean,
Answer.
I think if I mean, the double 28s, and say like you did get, I don't know, 15, 20, 30 rounds. I would say for most of our listeners, you have succeeded. High five. If you want to keep, I mean, it's up to you. But if you don't, that's probably the magic word. Enough. I would obviously, I'm a strength coach and I believe in progressive resistance exercise, but the 28s are that's a good bell size. That's
Yeah.
good work. Obviously, you might want to, if you decide to chase the 32, I would do another round of the ABF, maybe 6, 8 weeks, the whole 8 weeks with just the 20s before you give yourself a chance to work out, but enjoy. And if you decide to do the 32s, though, give yourself a long grace period before you jump to that. Get the 28s, slide back to the 2024s for a little while. I want you to, and then if you decide to jump to the 32s, that's excellent work. But it's probably overkill. I did that Girivoy sport thing one time, and I did the double 32s for the they call it a jerk, and I did the 32s for a snatch. And I just think that the 32s, for those of you who are looking for pounds, you're looking at 140 pounds. It's 140 pounds. So doing the double 32s would be like doing the barbell with the big plates on it. And it's a good load, and it's probably enough for most people for the rest of their life. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that makes me want to ask another question. That's we've talked about standards lots of times before, Dan. But for the armor building complex, what's a good, reasonable shoot for this? Not just weight, but maybe amount of sets or
Yeah.
time or something like that. What are the targets here, men and women? Yeah,
Personally, I think if you're a man, the 24Ks. If you're a woman, either the 12s or the 16s, depending on your 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 your, your goals and your body. That always gets uncomfortable. But if you can get to 30 rounds with the 24s, I mean,
solid work capacity there for
you
sure.
know,
Yeah,
I mean, you've pretty much, you've pretty. I wouldn't say you've gotten everything out of it because if you snatch 300 pounds of meat, the first thing they're going to ask you is, now, when are you going to snatch, 3 red plates?
hmm
I remember throwing 190, and literally the first question out of the Utah State person was, the media person was, when are you going to throw 200? And I'm like, oh dear God,
hmm
it took me 8 years to get here, but the 24s, the 16s, for most of our listeners who are male, the 20s would be just a really good place to maybe venture the rest of your life. It's just a good weight for this program. For those of you chasing bigger numbers, 28s, 32s certainly. I mean, you could do 36s and 40s if you'd like, but just these are good. And remember, the most important thing is, uh, you know, everyone step back at the big picture. When people ask me about my body composition changes, and by the way, thank you for all the. I put a picture of myself on the beach down in Australia.
Woo woo.
A lot of inappropriate comments. And
Oh, don't
God,
naughty.
they want me to wear a red speedo with the mustache. But you know, I'm having that conversation with people I care about and my coach about what's enough going to be for my body composition changes. You know, and
Yes.
sometimes enough has to be something. So, yeah, I wish I'd have been better about this in my athletic career. I remember a conversation I had with Tiffany in 1992 when I finally realized that for me, lifting 3 days a week was a better thing. And she said, "I've known that since the day I met you. You do better lifting 3 days a week." And I was like, "Oh." And so when I lifted for the rest of my career 3 days a week, good things tend to happen. When I did slide up to 5 with easy strength, those other 2 days literally had to be like a musician, a tune up, and it wasn't a workout. It was a literal practice, and
Yep.
yeah. So
Yeah. No, that's great. I feel best when I'm at 3 days of just solid lifting per week, and then just some light stuff around that.
think about this: if you get enough calories, you get enough protein, you lift enough 3 days a week, and you get enough walks in, you pretty much master body composition too. Once you get to enough, adding more doesn't seem to help, at least in my experience.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. It's interesting you mentioned the musician thing. I had a gig this weekend. It was 3.5 hours, and you have to think about how to kind of peak too, and timing your lifting. So like getting up to it. Of course, a lot of intense practice, but a day or two before, you gotta ease off the gas. And for me, that meant no lifting either, because I can't be sore, can't have my hands tired, stuff like that. So, if you're performing either in athletics or something else, timing, you don't really get that discussion much in general fitness, but how important it is for performance, the timing aspect of so much everything. Yeah.
You'll find it a little bit like there's a guy named Rusty Moore. I think he's called Visual Impact, or the Yacht Body Guy, and he has a couple of good little articles. I don't know if his site is still up. I have them, but for example, a photo shoot or a wedding or a vacation, or those would be the kind of the big three, isn't it?
The aesthetics ones for aesthetics. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Timing matters there too. Yeah.
Years ago, I tried for a photo shoot. We were doing family portraits. It was a while ago. It was pre-COVID, but I tried as 2-day potato hack just to see. But again, it was 4 years of 100 minus 100 caloric deficit a day is much better than a 2-day potato hack. But I would say that for most of us listening, I mean, if I said probably, would you say weddings and photos? Maybe.
Yeah, and the photo thing, let me be clear about the timing is like, the timing only matters and only works if you've already put in an enormous amount of back-breaking effort, right?
Yeah.
Like these little timing tricks aren't going to do any, like if I hadn't practiced for a year for this gig, very, hard, it doesn't matter the timing of when I lay off or this or that, right? But if you've put in the work, and say for a photo shoot, and you're already quite lean, right, and muscly, then how you time certain things can be the difference between like whether you look super shredded or a little bit bloated come the photo shoot, right? Which makes and I've timed things wrong. I've had a number of photo shoots for my books and elsewhere, and sometimes I've got the timing right. I'm like very good. Other times I've gotten it wrong. I'm like, look a little and then like the next day I look great. So it's off like it's like one day. I'm like, dang, I'll just have to deal with the bathroom selfies here and just throw out everything the photographer took. So but all that is like it's totally insignificant unless you've already put in all that foundational, and same thing in athletics, right, Dan? Like unless you've already busted your ass, to earn your spot there. Like the timing can be the difference between whether you get first or second, right?
Yeah.
But whether you even in the competitive race at all comes to everything that comes before all that stuff, right? Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you something interesting. And of course, I know this because of my daughters and every fitness influencer. I do these weekly shots. I do a front shot, I do a side shot, and I send it,
Yep.
and I send it to my coach. And I'll tell you this: if I take a front shot like this, I have someone take it to me. I look flat and pasty. If I could get the person to take the pictures like this, dude, I got my abs pop, my pecs get the no
angles and lighting, right, baby?
all that happened was instead of flat, and I'm against a white wall, and I just look like it just like a wall of paste with a thicker piece of paste in the middle is how
it's mayonnaise on mayonnaise. Yeah,
it's just mayonnaise on paste. It's just terrible. But if all you do is raise the camera up, or take a picture and just better lighting, it just I do. And I'm not trying to say I'm Mr. Universe or anything, but lighting and angle,
absolutely right,
huge. And it just makes me laugh because I'll be every week. I'm to the point now where I send in my weekly photos and I look at them like this.
Yep.
It's just every week I have a moment of, well, it's like eating a spoonful of mayonnaise. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's another good point there. So, like, yeah, angles and lighting ain't gonna help a fat person look thin, right? However, if you're already relatively lean and muscular, then angles and lighting can make a very big difference, right, in how you show up on Instagram, right?
John Barbin and Brad Pilon on their podcast Fi Life, which I enjoy. They talk about that all the time. They'll have a client and they'll have to tell the client, you're at 7% body fat. You look like this guy in the picture. Well, why don't I don't feel like I look like that? And and they'll say, well, it's the lighting, it's the tan, it's
a little bit of post-production,
Also, we took 500 shots from this position, and this one beat out 499 versus you looked in the mirror.
Yeah. That is the reality of it, my friends. That is the reality of it.
And sorry for going so long. Oh, hey, Nate's here. Hey, buddy.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the timing discussion that is relevant more for, I guess, some degree of specialists. But yeah, on the general level, it's people are timing for that wedding. The weddings are always the big one or something like that.
And the thing about prepping for a wedding, I would suggest, gentle listener, when you get the invitation, I would start prepping.
Oh yeah.
It's
always be prepping. ABP.
Always be cutting, baby. ABC.
Always be prepping.
Hey, would you mind? Wayne asked a good question down there.
Yeah, sure. Wayne says, with your experience, how do you choose a coach? Do you ever disagree?
So yeah,
with your coaches, I take it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How do I say this? I'm very pleased with my current coach. We have a template that we follow very closely. We interact with. He's very good at getting back with me. He listens to me. I had a coach before that. Someone I reached out for, and I paid a lot of money, and got a ton of stuff the first month, and then all of a sudden it went into the void. I don't know, no support, no follow up, and obviously I had to move on. But do I ever disagree? Yeah, like for example, I can tell you anything you want. Dick Notmeyer, I needed to move to 3 days a week or get on drugs. There was no, I couldn't train. I couldn't Olympic lift 3 days a week and then front squat and jerk 2 days a week. Once I hit a certain level, once I started snatching 120, 130, cleaning 160, 170, I just couldn't train like I was still 17, lifting, 90 and 100 kilos and 130 and 140. But we just kept hammering at it, and my joints just started to go. With Coach Mon, He believed the season was over after the Nationals or conference. I thought I needed to throw meets in the summer, but I just couldn't get any. That was
Mm.
Coach Lahadi, just really just ran us all into the ground. So it was interesting. I had two coaches that just worked me into the ground, and one that was the exact opposite. They were all right. Every coach is right for the right time. I'm not throwing any of my coaches under the bus. They're all outstanding humans. I mean, just you know, um, here's Coach Mon. I mean, obviously, you know, I got a picture of him inside with my daughter. I mean, this one, he also, played for the Detroit Lions and won the Nationals in the javelin and made the Olympic team in the hammer, and was also got ripped up pretty badly at the Battle of the Bulge. I mean, we're talking about a real great guy. So his view on things, when someone's been hurt badly at the Battle of the Bulge, there are more important things in life than throwing the discus far. So.
Right. Yeah. Good. Real quick, just to add to that, when I look for a coach, I try to look for like three things, and you never know perfectly until you start working with them if it's going to be a fruitful relationship. But I always look for somebody who has, where possible, the relevant experience themselves. Now, this isn't always going to be perfect, right? I don't think somebody needs to be currently amazing at something to be a good coach at that something. I mean, that's just not always going to be the case. However, for a lot of the stuff I'm interested in, like if I want a guitar coach, like you better be a damn good guitar player, right? Like sometimes there's just no negotiating that. However, I think if not more important than that, is do they have a track record of being able to produce results in other people, right? Not just what they can do themselves, but a successful lineage, if you will. And then, third is do I see in them the right balance of consistency and evolution, right? And to me, that is the mark of a solid intellect. Somebody who's wildly inconsistent, who jumps from one thing to the next, seems to me somebody who's just trying to be a con artist and just chase gimmicks. But at the same time, somebody who never ever changes or evolves or positioned at all, that's also sort of a red flag for me. So there's always, I'm looking for somebody who has that right balance of consistency and evolution over time. So those are my three coaching criteria: their own ability and experience, what they are able to produce in others, and looking, if they have enough time of seeing how, if they've hit that appropriate balance of consistency and evolution in what they've put out, if that record is available. And then just give it a shot from there. And I've had lots of amazing experiences, some not so great. But I will say that as Dan has said, coaching is invaluable. I owe so much of everything to coaches, not just in fitness, but in business and in music and everything, mentorship, coaching. If there's any real shortcuts in life, it's coaches and mentors. Those are absolutely the true shortcuts in life. Yeah.
High five. And I want to emphasize a point, because I really like what you said there. But okay, these are a whole bunch of my books in 14 different languages, and there's a pile over there, and I got Pat's book over here. I hire a coach because it is a foundational truth that I know that if I coach myself, I have an idiot for a client. When my coach said, this is how many calories you should consume in a day, I did the math, and I realized that if I coached myself, I would have probably added 500 calories to that, or 1,000, 1,500. And when he says walk 10,000 steps a day, I walk 10,000 steps a day. I know I should, but now I do it. So that it's sometimes you just need somebody. And I also agree with mentor. It always should be capitalized because it is a person's name, but you need mentors, you need someone, but you need somebody to I mean, you can say call out your bullshit, I guess, but you need someone who just kind of folds their arms and says, didn't we say we're going to do this? I thought you said you wanted to do this. Well, yeah, I do. In fact, there's a brilliant new book out called The Art of Coaching, and the author that the number one job is to keep slapping people's heads back in the carriage. You said you wanted to do this. We're doing. you know, uh, we decided,
Amen.
we
Amen.
decided to become an Olympic rower, and I'm sitting there and freezing my ass off on the side of a river at 7 a.m. And you're doing some CrossFit challenge with your friends, or or you slept. Dude, you said you wanted this,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's great, Dan. That's great. Good stuff. All right. Let's grab a few more. Good discussion this morning,
Yeah.
everybody. Really, really good.
Oh, I like just real quick. Justin says, went for a walk, aching elbow stopped aching. I swear some of this stuff is black magic. I got to tell you, folks. Yeah,
walking is the cure all.
Yeah, walking. If you want to improve your chances of not getting diabetes, you eat after a meal. If you want to help your back, you eat before a meal. If you want to do, it's just funny. I'll read these things in books. Steve Persall's book about walking after every meal is better than taking metformin. Okay. Stu McGill's book, Walking Before Every Meal, is great for your back. I just love it. It's just walking can sometimes solve everything. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I've been enjoying a nice long walk. So we live in a gigantic neighborhood. I think our neighborhood has a claim to possibly being one of the, if not the biggest. It is a gigantic neighborhood. So there's lots of I've had a GPS out of my neighborhood before because I've gotten lost on walks in my neighborhood, right? But me and Christine now we have this very nice we tracked it on the phone, 2.2 mile loop that we've been taking
6, 7, 8,000 steps, something like that.
It's a lot. Yeah, it gets us real close. One time through that gets us close to that 10K, and then a little bit more, and we're there. So it's just nice. It's just walking is just it's wonder. I know we've been talking about it for years and years, but we do this stuff. We're putting foot to pavement here, and it's one of those things. It's not always sexy. But if you can get out for that daily brisk extended walk, man, it just makes such a difference to your mood, how you feel, absolutely for weight loss.
Yeah.
So just get walking, people. Just get walking.
Yeah, and you'll notice there is that one fitness guru down in SoCal where he says for a man you should eat 1,700 calories a day and walk 17,000 steps. Well, okay, now obviously that's going to work, but the thing is, folks, and it's funny because you go on Reddit and people, well, that's just the company did this, the 10,000 steps. What's good about it? Is it perfect? But it's like the 8 glasses of water or 8 hours of sleep. There is no research on the 10,000 steps, but we all know it's right.
Yeah, if you get in that general neighborhood of 10,000 steps a day, you're gonna be better off. Just do
folks,
it.
If you sleep, and I love it, I'll say something like you should sleep 8 hours. There's going to be an instant comment. Well, I have a really busy schedule. Well, good for you. Thank you for being the one person in the 8 billion. But 8 hours sleep, 8 glasses of water. I don't know. Lift 3 days a week. Walk 10,000 steps a day. There you go.
Yeah, look here, guys. Just drop the excuse. It's okay, right? It's okay if you legitimately cannot do it right now, but just the attitude is annoying, right? So look, yes, that I say yes, that is right. That sleep thing is right. I do my best to do it, and realistically, I'm woken up, I don't know, 6, 7 times a night, right, by some child wandering in. So okay, right, it is what it is. You just do your best to get it done as best as you can, and you just make it your target, right? And if there's factors beyond your control, that's fine, but control everything that is within your control. So I do my best to get to bed early, on time, have my sleep hygiene. So I do everything I can to get the best sleep that I can, and then I accept it that hey, whatever. I got a bunch of kids. They'll be crawling all over, and but control as much as you can. Don't complain about the rest. And life is always going to come at you with something that you can't totally influence. But just accept it. Accept that. Yeah, that's the target. That's the goal. So just get after it best you can. Right. Mm-hmm.
And I was taught this in college, but Buddha's last words to his disciples, was do your best. It was like,
wow, yeah, do your best, yeah.
They said you put a heavy burden on us. What should we do? Do your best.
Do your best, man. Just do it. It's not going to be perfect, but do your best. All right. Rick has a question. Hey, what are your thoughts on pyramid rep schemes? Basically, an ascending ladder followed by a descending. So going up to 5x1 and back down. Dan, what do you think about ascending rep schemes,
Yeah, I mean,
pyramid stuff like that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's there is you've just reached into. I'm sure there was an Iron Man or Strength and Health magazine 1961 that said the same thing. It is a classic. I have dropped ones and fours out of my training just because they're not Fibonacci numbers. No, that's not true. Just ones and fours always seem to get in the way. But this is a standard template. You if you're going to stick with a single weight 2-3-5 5-3-2, there's 20 reps right there, and that's a pretty solid. If you're doing a single weight, it gives you a chance to ramp up. You have those 2 hard sets, and then as you're coming back down, you can accelerate. If you are going to change load on this, that is the more that is a the 5-4-3-2-1. When I was young, was still a training program. Yeah, is it perfect? No, but it's fine. It's good. I like the template. I think it's just fine.
Yeah, cool. All right, let's squeeze in just a few more here. Again, lots of good stuff. Justin has a question. It's one we've talked about before, but worth revisiting. He says, "How do you fend off the quote? It works so good, I stopped doing it issue."
I don't know, because if you look that phrase up in the dictionary, it has my picture on it. Okay. Give me a second. And just take a second.
Take your time, Dan. Take your time.
So what I do at the start of each journal, and this helps me a lot. And who's this? Justin. At the start of each journal. Now, this is my last journal. Wow, this one had this is a good one. This one, so this goes to July 16th of this year. My weight on that day was 206, and I pressed 135 for 6 as my opener. So, okay, that's enough. But what I do at the start of every one, I know you can't see it, and I apologize, but at the start of every new journal, I write down things I know. And I go to my last journal and I look through things I know. And I go like this and I go, yeah, that's still true. Okay, you know why that's funny? Can I go through a couple of these?
Yeah.
So this is from I would have written this somewhere around almost an entire year ago. So this is oh gosh, and I weigh 223. November 1st, I weigh 223. Holy Yankees, I had a good year. So, number 1, sleep. Cool room, take Hibernate. I'm wearing the shirt today too. Hibernate is a little supplement. 2, veggies and smoothies veggies at every meal. Original Strength is awesome. Fasting is stealing for fat loss. Sauna and Original Strength. Resets between, I do Original Strength resets between sets. Number 9, I love this one. James Bond things. That's a phrase that only works for me. James Bond is when you take the simplest thing you can find, and that's my vision of it. And you make things work. You buy quality goods, and you, instead of having 20 crappy bottles of beer, you have one really good scotch or something like that. Hibernate and Metformin are my best not Metformin. Metamucil are my best supplements. Lift 3 days a week. That's been in since 1992. It's been one of them. And I love saving money. Okay, so that's personally that's the best way for me to do it. At the start of every journal, I call it things I know, and I rewrite.
That's good.
That's good. And then sometimes I'll look at something and I'll be like, oh, I don't agree with that anymore. But I don't scratch it out. I just put if I agree with it, I give an up arrow, a down arrow, or
upvote it or downvote.
Upvote, downvote, or neutral. Like for me, the saving money thing, I got a check the other day and I just put it right into my American Express National Bank savings account,
Yeah.
I didn't even look at it. I put it right in savings. And it's like, yay. Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, Dan, before we go, what are you working on this week? What do you got coming up?
Well, the supplement to the not the whatever the new armor building formula book is finished. I turned in, I rebooted it with all the, so it's in good shape. This week, I'm gonna probably do some self care. I'm gonna try to sauna every day. Sauna. Today, I'm gonna mow the lawn to get some extra steps in.
Yeah, I think I'm going to join you there. This might be the last mow of the season out here for us.
Oh,
So.
we won't be here. Though, yeah, we're getting close, aren't we? Which is strange, by the way. It's fall, folks. I just can't get over that. But things are good. I'm more. Life is good. I got to tell you, man, that my trip to Australia really just kind of, like Tim Anderson says, I feel like I pressed reset. I'm
Good.
excited to write books again. I am getting ready. I went to my students' 40th reunion last weekend, and in just a week or so, I'll be going to my high school 50th.
Awesome.
I'm putting together some little notebooks to share with anybody who might just, not this one, but I don't know, just fun things from my life.
Yeah.
It is interesting what I keep. So this is one of my favorites. So this, I ripped that out of my track and field omni book was falling apart. So this is the page that talked about Coach Mon at Utah State right here. This is the section he wrote about how to train year round. And that's the section I said to my sister, I want to go to Utah State. And then this is the scholarship that Coach Mon sent me.
Nice.
So that's what starts off this particular one. I don't know.
Very cool.
As for those of you know, I've been trying to organize all my stuff so that it'll be real easy when I die for my daughters to throw everything out. This is a fun. That's me as a teacher. I have a sword. I'm trying to cut off one of my students' heads.
That's important to set an example. Yeah.
Snatching 300 in the nets, throwing the discus in Ohio. I mean, it's just, these aren't going to go. These are just fun things.
That's fun. Awesome, Dan. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
I was able to show my friend Nolan the movie Mystery Men last night for the first
time. Classic with Stiller. Yeah. Oh, man. That's
you cannot say that you're a well-informed person until you have sat down and watched.
It's one of those movies where you wonder why they even bothered making movies after that one. What's the point?
It's like Spinal Tap. People didn't get it was a joke, and that's why. Oh, by the way, Spinal Tap's back out, and I'm going to go see it.
Yeah, let me know what you think about it. I love the original, so if the new one's funny, let me know, Dan. That'd be fun.
What was the problem with Spinal Tap is that they made it so well, people thought it was an actual band.
It's an actual band, yeah.
It's very funny. I feel that way about Mystery Men. People thought it, but now it's much funnier. All right, that's enough.
All right, everybody, thank you so much. Thank you, Dan. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Awesome.
Yep, awesome.
Listeners. Bye-bye.